Welcome back, everybody, to Hayes Tech ROM Reviews. I am Dave Hayes, and today we're going to go over, not a ROM, but we're going to go over a kernel. The kernel is Blackbird Kernel by Raventech. It is my favorite kernel of all time, bar none. I've run some kernels in the past, Bofula. I love Bofula on Samsung devices. I love Shift Kernel on Samsung devices, especially the Galaxy Note 2. But it seems for the Nexus 6, at least from what I can tell, and I've tested a lot of kernels in my day, Blackbird Kernel just for me is my kernel. And I can see it right now. I know what the posts are going to be. It's like when it's like if I do a gun review and somebody doesn't like the gun, right away I get a comment. Well, I use this, I use that, guys. The kernel that you use is the right kernel. Okay, I love them all. Elemental Axe, man. If it wouldn't have been for Elemental Axe and some of the other ones out there, I wouldn't even be running Nougat right now. They are the kernels that got me through here. Hell's Core, one of my most favorite kernels of all time. I love that kernel. But as things went on, you progress, you grow into different things, and along came Blackbird, and it just had everything in it that I liked. It might not have everything in it that you like, but it's got, again, everything that I use is in this kernel. So I'm not doing the review on Tesla, but I am using Tesla as the backdrop because, of course, you need a ROM to run the kernel on, and this is their latest November 11th build. So, by the way, guys, their latest November 11th build is running great. No issues at all. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up Kernel Auditor Mod, if I can find it here. You know what? Let's just go this way. There it is. By the way, guys, I highly recommend that you use Kernel Auditor-Mod as opposed to Kernel Auditor from the Play Store. This gives you much more control over the ROM and the color control and hot plug control. It's laid out a little better. I like this one a lot better. So I recommend if you want yours to look like mine and get to the settings the way I get to them, use this one. If you just type in Google search, if you type in Kernel Auditor-Mod, it'll be the first thing that pops up. Make sure it says underneath there by blah 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 XDA. Click on that, download it. Under CPU, it's got your min-max settings. I always go to 2688. Of course, the highest it'll go is 2888. Minimum, I always go 35 megahertz. This is one of the very few ROMs like Hell's Core, which allows me to drop my minimum all the way down to 35. I like 35 megahertz for my minimum amount. When my CPU's sleeping or my phone is sleeping, there is no reason for it to be running more than 35 megahertz. Does it run at 35 megahertz? Probably not. It's usually probably up around the 100s or somewhere around there. But it has that opportunity to drop down there. I've heard many people say that you can't run your phone and do not put it on 35 megahertz. You are going to screw your phone up. I'm going to tell you right now, at least on my device, I can't say for yours, on my device, I never put my minimum settings higher than 35 megahertz. When I'm running Hell's Core or if I'm running Blackbird, it's always set at 35 megahertz for my minimum setting. I've never had a random reboot because of it. I've never had anything drop off. I've always had my phone wake up. It never goes into that deep, never wake your phone up kind of thing. So just letting you guys know that, all right? Under governors, these are the governors it comes with. I use conservative. I'm looking for battery life and overall smooth scrolling, just smooth operation. For me, these are what works for me. So my governor is going to be conservative. I don't mess with the governor tunables. You guys can do that if you want. Here are your CPU boost settings. Again, I don't do anything with the CPU boost settings. Under your voltages, you can up the voltage, down the voltage if you guys want. It's called overvolting, undervolting. I don't. If I do anything at all, I'll go with a global offset of, say, -5 and click OK. But you notice I don't hit the apply on boot. That's because I don't want it there. When I reboot my phone, I want it to go right back to its standard settings, or the settings that I had, placed to begin with. My profile, I guess you guys could say. And I don't recommend that you guys apply on boot, because you never know. You could have an intensive app running in the background that's just going to draw so much that it's just going to shut your phone off. So if you have that set to apply on boot, it's just going to constantly just keep screwing your phone up and shutting it off for you. So, again, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't apply the set on boot until you've at least run N2.2 a couple times all the way through, and it hasn't, and your phone doesn't reboot on you. If your phone doesn't reboot on you, if you run N2.2 a couple times, then I guess you're okay to go ahead and apply on boot. At least with that setting. Now, under CPU hot plugs, you guys know one of the biggest reasons I run this kernel is because it comes with Mako hot plug. That is, I guess, just one of the reasons. The overall package is really the main reason I do it. But it does have a Mako hot plug, and you guys know me. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, I love Mako hot plug. So that's the one that I'm running. That's the one I'm going to go over. It's the one I'm going to show the settings for. My CPU frequency unplug limit, I always set at 2496. These are the settings for that. It goes all the way up, 2880, all the way down to 35. I set mine up at 2496. It seems to work the best for me right there. The high load counter, I always set at 3. My load thresholds at 90. Max load counter right in the middle at 50. My minimum time CPU online and my timers always 1-1. Those are very easy to remember. It works for me there. That's just how I have it set up. Next up is going to be thermal. I don't mess with thermal at all, but these are the controls if you guys want to mess with it. Here are your controls for that. Again, I don't recommend that you do. If you're an advanced user, by all means, go crazy on it. GPU. This is another one of those settings that I change. I don't change a lot of settings in the kernel. I usually run it pretty much flashed. But I do drop the, it's flashed, or when it comes flashed, it's set at 800 megahertz. I drop it down to 600 because I just don't need 800 megahertz. So I leave it at 600. My minimum, 166, and I think that goes down to, no, okay, 166, I have it set at minimum, and that is the minimum. I don't use the gaming mode. I've tried it in the past, and when I try to run an N2.2 test on it. I can't make it all the way through. It usually, kicks off for me. So I don't use that. If I want to do anything, if I know I'm going to be running a game, like I play Flight Simulator a lot on this. It's called Infinite Flight Simulator. It's one of those really realistic flight simulator games, and it is very, very graphic intensive. When I run that, I usually run this at 800 megahertz, and it works great. No problems at all. It doesn't overheat on me. It doesn't do anything crazy like that. These are your other settings you guys can mess with. Again, I don't mess with those settings, but hey, they're there. You can mess with them. Under the screen settings, this is one of the reasons I recommend that you get Kernel Auditor Mod as opposed to the one from Play Store. If you get the one from the Play Store, you get the where you can change the colors up, but you don't get this color profile on top. And what's cool about that is you can actually pick from preset profiles that you can apply, and I'm telling you, they're awesome. I always run, or normally run, the Deep Black Colorful, or I'll even go with the Volmer Deep Rich or the Volmer Accu Rich. Those are my three settings that I like the best. You guys can play with it if you want. It is what it is. Also, guys, don't be looking at my battery and saying, my God, man, your battery's draining fast. I've got my screen brightness up to 100%. I am recording a video. I'm using an external mic plugged into the phone as a battery source. Yeah, it's going to chew up a lot of battery. Those are pretty much the settings I use. These are your wake controls. I don't even use tap to wake or slide to wake, or I guess it's swipe to wake. I don't use them, but you guys have it. You can use it if you want. Under sound control, I do set my microphone gain up to 20, volume gain at 4. Be careful with that volume gain. You can really screw up your speakers bad. You want to be careful with that. It does have the SoC drivers tunable, and I use it. Under power and battery, here's another option I like, is the USB fast charge. I do click that on. I use that whenever I can. Just be aware, guys, that when you fast charge your battery, even though this battery was actually designed to charge fast, it comes with a fast charge brick and and all that. When you do fast charge your battery, it does lower the life on your battery. Just be aware of that. Although changing a battery in one of these devices is very, very simple. They have all kinds of videos on how to do that. That's pretty much it. That's all I go with there. You do have your power suspend mode for the LCD panel. Under I/O scheduler, listen to me, I can't even talk. I've been trying Maple out, and I think that's going to be my new scheduler. I really like it. I normally use CFQ and BFQ and where is it? SI. Oh, it's not even on here. Okay, so normally I use CFQ and BFQ. There's another one, I think it's SIO, something like that. I've been using that. Yeah, SIO. They have SIO Plus here, but I decided I wanted to try Maple out. It's working great. It doesn't conflict with Mako. It's again, smooth scrolling. I'm getting good battery life. Overall, just fluid. I love it. So, and again, that's all in the whole package. I'm not saying that Maple is going to make your phone run completely different, but it's part of the package. So that's at least that's my settings. So that's all I'm doing basically, is sharing what I have. And remember, guys, the settings on my phone may not work on yours. All devices are different. I know. I've had two GTN 5110s bought in the same day, and I can't even run the same ROM on them. So I know. Kernel sampling, I don't mess with that neither. I'll show you the settings on that. I don't touch it. Low memory frequency. Again, I don't touch this when your memory killer. I don't mess with it. It's the way it's set up as flash works great for me. Your virtual memory, your dirty ratio, stuff like that. I don't mess with that. That's, again, these are the stock settings, so I just leave it the way it is. Seems to work very good for me. Let's see, wake locks. This is another thing I don't mess with. I don't have any issues with wake locks. All the apps that I want shut off when they need to. They don't run in the background. But if you guys do want to set wake locks up, you can. I don't recommend it, but go ahead, do what you want to do. Under entropy, those are the settings for that. Again, I don't mess with that at all. And then under miscellaneous controls, this is going to be where you can toggle your SE Linux permissive from permissive to enforcing. If you're running Substratum, I can tell you right now, Substratum likes permissive. Sometimes it'll work on some ROMs in enforcing, I've heard. For me, for some reason, I can't get it to work unless I'm running permissive. So it is what it is. So that's going to be where you can change that at, your host name, all that. If you guys have ever done that in the past, that's where it's at. You have your vibration strength. I always set up mine up between 20 and 30. That's going to be where you do that at. And that is pretty much it. If you go down to settings, you can actually pick your theme, which is cool about this. Of course, most of the kernel auditors out there now, like EX or EX file, EX, listen to me, Elemental Act Kernel Auditor, they have like a theme that you can set too. So it's pretty cool. Guys, that's it. I just wanted to basically let you guys know that Blackbird Kernel was out there for Nougat. And I'm running this on 7.0 or 7.01. I'm almost positive it's 7.0. I'll tell you what, if it's not, I have, no, okay, this is 7.0. But I actually use this on CM14, 14.1. Works great. There's another one, AICP, Android Ice Cold Project. That is a direct build off of CyanogenMod, and I use this kernel for that too, and it works great. So just thought I'd let you guys know. Again, give a shout out to Raventech for for pushing this out to us Shamu lovers, users. We appreciate it, man. We really do. I am going to be putting out more videos, guys. I know it's been slow lately, but it's just nothing there. I don't want to do a video on a ROM that normally runs CMTE and do a video on it with Substratum. It just doesn't do the ROM service. And I can tell you guys right now, if you stayed this long through the video with me, CM has started working on the theme engine. They left that to last. They've got everything else working now, and they are now working on incorporating the theme engine into CyanogenMod. So I would say within the next nightly or the one after that, we're going to be seeing CyanogenMod theme engine. So all of you naysayers out there that said, yeah, CyanogenMod's dead with their theme engine, it's all going to be Substratum. No, it's not. I didn't think it was going to be. I was kind of scared there first, but it is not going to be. CyanogenMod is 100% pushing that out. And again, I'm almost planning on being in the very next nightly. So anyways, guys, I've kept you long enough on a kernel video. Make sure you guys thank Raventech for pushing this out and his team. I want to thank all of my subscribers, and I will see you guys on the next one.